Yes, hi there. This is Michael, the founder, owner, materials writer of the 7-Step System to pass the TOEFL IBT, and these comments are for VSS. Let's go ahead and take a look at, you just completed the diagnostic pretest at my website for lessons 26 through 44. And at this point, I want to go over which lessons I think you want to work on the most. And if I were to summarize one main thing that really describes, I think, your pronunciation and some things that you want to work on to get better, I would say tone. Tone seems to be one of your biggest problems here. So remember that when you have this idea, VSS, it's called tone or word stress or rhythm. But the basic thing with stress in a word is you have to make the stress syllable longer, louder, clearer, and higher pitched. I think this higher pitched area is where you're having the most trouble with. So you definitely want to work on creating a higher pitch on certain words and certain syllables in certain words when you're speaking. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Based on the pronunciation pretest for the second part of my Speak Clearly part of the 7-Step System, here are the lessons that you want to focus on right now. You might want to write these down. Lesson 30, and particularly in Lesson 30, focus on those words that end in self, like myself, those words. You also want to study Lesson 31, Lesson 35, Lesson 36, Lesson 37, Lesson 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, and 44. So I think these are really good lessons for you right now. Now you know VSS, if you want to score high on the TOEFL speaking, you need to work on these pronunciation areas first. Right? It's kind of like putting the horse in front of the cart or putting the cart in front of the horse. That's why I have pronunciation step 2 and my speaking step is step 7. Now some suggestions I have for you right now. As you go to the videos, I probably already told you this, or maybe Nate told you if he listened to your pretest in the first one, is take time to actually listen. As you watch the videos, you can read with me out loud. This is called tracking. Tracking is a great way to read with me out loud, to work on the stress, the tone, rhythm, all the consonants, all the vowel sounds, the pacing, and all of those things, right? Now, in addition to working on that, there were some consonant sounds that you probably want to work on again, and I would recommend also lesson 23, the T. I think you need a little bit more practice with the T sound. Remember, if you take the word like tip, tip, make sure you push enough air out of your mouth when you pronounce that sound. Also the word P, the consonant P, like pace, pace, top, top, pace. If you think about it, if I take a sheet of paper, kind of watch how I say this sound. Check this out. See this? I say pace, tip. Do you see how much air comes out there? So for you, when you're producing those sounds, VSS, you're not producing them with enough air, and the problem is, especially with the P sound, it might sound like a B sound if you don't pronounce it with enough air. So that's the potential problem that you could have right there. But anyway, thank you for doing the second pretest of the pronunciation part of the 7-Step System. You now have some lessons. You know what you want to work on. I recommend that you go through and practice these lessons, and then when you're ready, you can take the post test at the very end of my second step part of the course. Now, some other things that you want to work on, I'm just going to give you some basic kind of guidelines and some suggestions right now. Don't rule out other things that you can do to improve your pronunciation. For example, singing. If you have some songs in English and then you can go on the internet and you can find the words to those songs, practice singing the songs in English. This is also really useful for you. Now, another thing you can think about is find as many opportunities as you can to speak English to native speakers. Now, I'm going to give you a website right now. It's called Toastmasters.org. Again, maybe let me write it here for you on this sheet so you can see how it's spelled. Toastmasters. Let me let you take a look at that. Can you see that? It's called Toastmasters.org. Now, this particular website, it's an international speaking organization where you show up at the meeting. They usually meet once a week in different cities in different countries around the world and in the United States. But you can go there and you can meet with native speakers, and they actually make you give a speech every time you show up. So this is a great way for you to network, to meet native speakers, and to also practice speaking English. So I think this might be another opportunity for you to work on improving your speaking and your pronunciation of American English. Now, another thing is the psychological aspects of learning a language. I can tell when you're speaking right now, based on your pretest, it's very hard for you. You have to really think very, very carefully how to pronounce all the words that you're saying. So it means that you just don't have enough contact with the English language yet. You need more experience doing that. Now, psychologically, you have to want to get better. You have to want to identify with a new culture. This is also very, very important. So these are just some things that you want to do. So try to keep your mind motivated, be positive, and just say, hey, I want to learn more about American culture or British culture or whatever. And watch TV, documentaries, listen to the radio, just keep doing a lot of these things, and also obviously work at my 7-step system and work on the pronunciation lessons I've suggested. But there's a lot more you can do other than that to continue to make improvements. Anyway, thank you for posting your pretest. I'm very glad to hear from you at this point, and I hope I've given you some good suggestions of some things that you can do right now to become better.